Hey guys, so today I'm here with my October wrap-up. I managed to read 5 books in October, which I think is really good considering I had school, and I read 4 in September, so it's 1 more, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I read some great books this month, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first book I read in the month of October was The Winter's Curse by Marie Rakowski. This book is, I guess, a fantasy kind of historical book is what I kind of got out of it. It follows a girl named Kestrel who buys a slave at the market, and stuff happens. I wasn't a huge fan of this book. It was okay. But I don't know exactly what it was about it, but I wasn't a fan of the characters, and I just wasn't really so much of a fan of it. It was okay, but it was not my absolute favorite, and I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read in the month of October was Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April Genevieve Choke. I read this because it's October and I figured this was a really good spooky October Halloween kind of read. And not gonna lie, it did kind of creep me out at some points. I had to put it down after a certain time of day and read something else because it was a little bit creepy. It wasn't as creepy as I was kind of thinking it was going to be after reading the first little bit. The first half has more creepy parts than the last bit. But yeah, it was really good. At the end it got a little bit weird, and so I had to dock a star for that, but other than that, I really, really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to pick up the second one. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the next book that I read was Fixing Delilah by Sarah Auckler. This book follows a girl named Delilah, as the title says, who her family's kind of falling apart. She has a somewhat boyfriend, but she doesn't really know if he's her boyfriend or not. And her grandmother dies, and her mom and her aunt, who have been estranged for years, and her go up to, settle all the funeral stuff. So she goes and meets people that were a big part of her life when she was younger and everything, and it's really good. It's about family. There's a little bit of romance, but it's not so much. And I would really highly recommend this book. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. And the next book that I read was Choker by Elizabeth Wood. This book follows a girl named Kara and her best friend Zoe, and they, in 5th grade, Kara had to move away, so they haven't seen each other in years, and then one day Zoe comes back, and people start disappearing in the town, and there's all these crazy things happening, and I really enjoyed this book a lot. I had a couple of problems with it, but it was really good, and there was this big twist at the end that I did not see coming at all, and I realized I really should have, because there were so many clues that were hinting towards it, but I didn't guess it at all, and it was yeah, it was really good. I ended up giving a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read in October, which I just finished an hour ago, is Faking Normal by Courtney C. Stevens. This book follows a girl named Alexi, and she has had something happen to her over the summer. You don't really find out. You kind of eventually piece together what happened. And this boy named Bodhi comes to live with her and her family after his mother dies. And it's just about how she's learned to cope with what happened and how Bodhi's learned to cope with what happened, and it's really sweet, and there's a really sweet love story, and it's so good. I would definitely say if you're a fan of Speak by Laura House Anderson, definitely check this book out. It's kind of similar in a way, and I am really happy that I read this, and I think it's probably going to be on my top books of this year, but we'll see, and I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars, if you couldn't guess. So that's all the books that I read in the month of October. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye!